Hello, whole body.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our fourth and final webinar. Today we have people from the Department of Orientation and Commuter Student Involvement and Housing with us. But again, my name is Brianna Klein. Welcome if this is the first time you're tuning in. I'm one of the program coordinators for this year's upcoming orientation program, and I'm going to let our panelists today introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Matt Barnes. I'm the Assistant Director for the Department of Orientation and Commuter Student Involvement. I'm a full-time staff member here at UM, and I'm here to talk today about our Kane Kickoff Orientation Program and the processes leading up and going into orientation.
Hi, good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you're watching from. My name is Mike Piacentino with the Department of Housing and Residential Life. Excited to be here today and share with you about our brand new cruise ship move-in that's coming to the university.
All right, so the first question is, even though this is focused on arrival and when you show up here in about 3 weeks, what do you recommend that students need to do before arriving here for move-in and for Kane Kickoff?
So for general kind of orientation and transition purposes, there's actually a lot of things that you'll need to do, from ensuring that you've registered for classes, ensuring that your health and immunization forms are in. There's kind of a lengthy to-do list. All of you should have received in the mail the Road to UM, which is a checklist guide of all of the to-do items and sort of pre-orientation checklist tasks that you want to ensure that you are completing before arriving on campus. And so if you have that, or you can find it online as well, there's a link to it from our website. Our website is miami.edu/orientation. You can kind of ensure that you've done all of the tasks that you need to do. It's listed on your Kane link as well, and so you should be able to keep very close track of all of your to-do items and see what's still outstanding for you.
Anything from the housing point of view they need to do before they show up?
Sure. So the best thing to really get prepared for housing is to make sure that you've reviewed the information packet that we have mailed home to all residents. If you didn't get that packet, you can just send us an email at housing@miami.edu, or you can also visit the website miami.edu/housing/fall move-in, all one word, and that will give you some of the overview of what you need to know before moving in. Things like your move-in time. Everyone has been given a preset move-in time, a preset move-in day. Review some of the things to bring. We'll get into some more specifics later, but that's sort of just to start reading and become familiar with a lot of that information.
So you alluded a little earlier to this cruise ship move-in. We're all very excited about. Do you want to explain how that will work?
Sure. So we are very excited this year about the new cruise ship move-in. For folks that are moving in for the first time, this will be the only thing you've experienced. But for us, it's a very new process here at the university. So the easiest way to summarize it is essentially everyone, like I mentioned, has been given a preset move-in time. And what we'll do is you'll arrive onto campus at that time. Once you get to campus, we pretty much will take it from there for you. We'll have folks out in the parking lots, all the roads on campus, directing you exactly where your car needs to go when you get there. And once you get up to whatever your area will be, whether it's Heck, Stanford, or in Eaton Residential College, you'll pull up your car. A team of folks will actually come in and sort of attack your car, unload everything for you. You just have to sit there and just let them do their work. They'll load all of your belongings into carts for you. They'll take your stuff right up to your room, and what you can then do is the student can exit the car, head to the front desk of their area, check into your building, receive your Kane card. Probably want to head over to the student center and check in for orientation, and you can come back to your room whenever you want, and your stuff will already be there. So you don't have to carry any boxes, you don't have to lift anything. We do all that work for you, and like I said, all your items will be in your room when you get there. So we're really looking forward to the convenience. It will be hot on move-in day. It is August in Miami, but again, we're doing all the heavy lifting for you, so we really are excited about that.
And also, if you're tuning in for the first time, we do want to make this as interactive and as much as a conversation as possible, so if you have any questions about anything that's said today, please type them in the chat box, and I will definitely ask them for you. Also, I'm very jealous about this. As someone who's going to be a senior here, yes. I wish.
Yes, we're very excited to bring it to UM. We hope it's certainly going to make move-in day. There's no lie, it can be a stressful day. There's a lot going on for sure. But like we said, we will handle all your stuff for you. All of your items we will take right up to your room. So all you have to worry about checking into your building and also making sure you check in for orientation.
So how do you find out what your designated time is?
Sure. So in the summer mailer that we sent to everybody, you should have received a large sheet like this, which basically is a summary of the information that I just went over. On the back of that is a chart that kind of goes over the window in which you can expect to move in, and that is determined by your housing assignment. You can view your housing assignment through Kane Link. So once you know where you're living, you generally know what time you're moving in. Now, yesterday, we sent all resident students an email to their email address with a specific window. So it's a half-hour block of time that you must arrive in to make sure that this cruise ship move-in works. If you arrive outside that window, there's no guarantee that we'll be able to do the special cruise ship move-in for you. But if you arrive within that half-hour window, even a little bit earlier is okay. We have a temporary lot that people will be hanging out in. But you arrive during that time. So again, it was sent to you in your email. If you, for some reason, didn't get that email or still have a question, you can just email us, again, at housing@miami.edu, and we'll be able to sort that information out.
And a big thing is make sure you factor in traffic.
Yes.
We do have traffic in Miami, so we don't want you to be stressed about running late because of traffic. So early is always better.
I want to say yes, early is definitely better. Like I mentioned, we do have a large parking lot that we're kind of using as a holding lot for people. So definitely arriving earlier is okay. Not too much earlier. I wouldn't try to get here 2, 3, 4 hours early. You won't be able to move in any earlier based on when you get here. So we're really asking folks to stick to that window, but definitely do factor in some traffic. Check out Google Maps before you come here.
So how does someone figure out who their roommate is?
Sure. So roommate information can sometimes be a bit tricky in that it's not something that we can just give out. It's not available publicly. It's not something that's posted publicly. But if all you do is send us an email, again, at housing@miami.edu, we can provide for you the name as well as the university email address of your roommate. Folks have, once they get their name, if you want to use social media and connect with your roommate in other ways, but all that we can provide is their name and their university email address, and that's just to protect students' privacy.
So a general question a lot of people ask is, what if someone wants to switch rooms, like already? Sure.
So right now, switching rooms is not really something that we can accommodate. We definitely want to at least have you see the room first. Some folks may have already be aware, we are pretty much at capacity in terms of our housing. We're still assigning folks now, but we don't just have empty extra rooms throughout our areas. Very excited to welcome a large first-year class here on campus. So our areas are filling up. So we don't just have extra rooms that we can just swap people around. Now, if you do have a roommate swap, so if you know of somebody in some capacity, you want to swap roommates around, everybody that wants to swap has to send their own email, again, to housing@miami.edu, and we can try to accommodate those swaps.
So we do have a question. Someone who is out of the state of Florida or is not driving in, what if they already booked a flight? That means that they won't be able to get here during their time block.
So it will depend if they are coming in. I'm assuming that means that they're coming in after their time block.
Yes, it says arrive later.
So if you're arriving later outside of your time block, again, we'll try and fold people into the cruise ship move-in as possible. And again, I'm assuming you're still arriving on the Tuesday. But if you're outside of that specific window, again, you can always shoot us an email at housing@miami.edu and we can get into some specifics. But generally speaking, we're expecting that we can try to fold some people into the cruise ship move-in. You may just have to wait a little bit depending on the specific time you arrive, if we're ahead of schedule, if we're behind schedule. It's scheduled almost to the minute, so it's good. It's a pretty precise, it's a pretty impressive operation that folks have done. We expect we can make a few accommodations, but every accommodation we have to make just throws the schedule off that much further. And again, we want to try to accommodate all 2,000 people potentially that will be moving in. So we're trying to make sure that if everyone can stick to their schedule as much as possible, we understand things will happen, people will get stuck in traffic. The system is flexible enough, but again, every time we have to make accommodations, it throws things off. But if you're arriving after your time, there's nothing we can do about that, of course. So we'll try and accommodate folks as much as possible.
Also, what if someone is moving into Eaton as a freshman instead of Tech or Stanford?
Sure. So there's no difference. The cruise ship movement will still be there. The only difference is obviously where you're driving, where you're dropping off at is at Eaton. But again, everyone is arriving to campus at the same point. So on that map, on this info card again, there's the map down here at the bottom that shows you the arriving point. I think we even included somewhere on here is the address to put into your GPS or iPhone or whatever you need to use to get here. And once you get to that point, again, we will take it from there. We won't drive your car for you. We're not that advanced here. We don't have self-driving cars either. But once you get to that sort of entry point to campus, we will have signage. We will have staff that will direct you, whether you're Heck, Stanford, Eaton, wherever to go. But Eaton folks are still on the cruise ship move-in just as everybody else.
Right. So if you're an incoming freshman, what advice for what should they bring with them, and more importantly, what should they not bring with them?
Sure. So that is a very important question about what to bring and as you mentioned, what not to bring. Again, in that summer mailer, we actually created a guide about what to bring to college, and also down the bottom is please do not bring. So again, this guide is also available on our website. If you did not happen to get the summer mailer, again, send us an email and we'll get that to you. But the what to bring to college, there's some things that may seem obvious, but some other little surprise things. Mattresses are provided for you, but you do need to provide linen, sheets, comforters, things like that, pillows, all that sort of stuff. Mini fridges, microwaves are okay. We just ask that anything that has an open heating element not be brought. So that includes things like a toaster. Don't bring those. Leave your candles at home, even if you don't plan to light them. Candles are not allowed in the room. We have some very specific policies and procedures that I certainly recommend folks take a read through, but if you consult this handy guide, it will tell you some of the things to bring, some of the things not to bring. And we also recommend getting in contact with your roommate and figuring out what it is that folks are bringing and not bringing. You don't necessarily need 2 mini fridges in your room, so kind of figure out who wants to be the roommate that's bringing the mini fridge, who wants to be the roommate that's bringing the microwave, the TV, sort all that things out as well. So I think that's definitely some of the overall advice. Again, consulting this guide will be very helpful. The standard room, just as an overall what you are getting already from our department, is a mattress, of course. Every room has a chair, a desk, some shelving within it, a dresser, a closet, trash cans are included. There is an overhead light in all the rooms, but if you wanted to bring any sort of extra lamps, posters, pictures, all that sort of stuff, that's all up to you.
All right. So once you move in, you start our orientation program, which we like to call Kane Kickoff here. So I'm going to shift to Matt a little bit and ask you some questions. Sure. So what exactly happens during orientation, which I know is a very broad question because a lot happens, but also if you could fit in the question of why does a student need to attend our orientation program here?
Sure. So our orientation program called Kane Kickoff is a 5-day experience where you are learning really the fundamentals of what it means to be a college student and how to be successful at the University of Miami and generally as a college student. There are elements of learning about spirit and traditions at the university to learning new skills and personal tools for collegiate success. We do a lot of community building and team building, so you get to know other new students and people who are living on your residential floor or people who are commuting to campus. So there's a lot of different opportunities to get connected to people, get connected to your academics, and to learn how to be successful as a college student. Definitely important to come. It's a mandatory program, but I also encourage you to put the most into the program as you can. Really, the crux of the program is an opportunity to explore everything that this university has to offer for you and how you can make the most of your experience here. The program is really customizable to what you want to learn about. So there's opportunities to choose sessions that are based on your personal interests. You'll be broken out sometimes based on your school or college. You'll be broken out based on your residential college or your commuter status at some points. And so it's really tailored to you and your personal success here as a student. And it's a great way to jumpstart your education here.
So to get into a little more of the specifics, what are some examples of some of the mandatory programs that I hate using that word because it makes it sound boring, but that all the students are going to be going through here?
Sure. So the first one that's mandatory for all students, and I think one of the most exciting sessions that we have is called Kane's Take Flight, which is our opening pep rally and kind of spirit session. It starts with a welcome address from both President Frank as well as our Dean of Undergraduate Education. And then we jump into a pep rally where you'll see the band and learn more about some of our traditions here on campus and learn cheers and really get invested in the spirit of the University of Miami. We have a lot of really deeply rooted traditions here. And so it kind of starts off the 5-day experience with a lot of energy, opportunities to get to know more about the campus generally and to get invested in the spirit here. In terms of other mandatory sessions, you'll have a mandatory meeting with the dean of your academic school or college, and that's where you'll learn the fundamentals of your curriculum and the courses that you have to take and ensure that what you've registered for is correct to get you on track with your classes. We have a few mandatory sessions on some kind of crucial topics to college student success generally that are focused on alcohol and other drug education, taking care of your mental health, diversity, bystander intervention. So there's a lot of really important topics that are just generally good to know as entering college student. And then we have other mandatory sessions that are focused kind of on getting to know your small group better. Everyone will be broken into small groups throughout Kane Kickoff. And so you'll have an opportunity to engage in some small group discussions, learn more about your academics through those discussions, and kind of debrief some of the topics that I just mentioned from the other mandatory rotating programs as well.
And in housing and residential life, for our resident students, you also will have floor meetings, which are also mandatory. So that will be when your RA on your floor will get the whole floor together and kind of just go over some what is it like to live in a residential college at the University of Miami. Again, making sure that you're successful, making sure that you have a successful time here on campus. Those typically happen in the evenings after all the orientation programming has already concluded for the day, and so those are also required of all of our resident students. And again, it's just really there to just give you some tips, some key foundation things that will help you be successful within our residential areas.
So what can a student's family do during this whole time?
Okay, so we do have a family Kane Kickoff program that is running concurrently but separately from the student program. So on the Tuesday and Wednesday, right upon arrival, there's an opportunity for family members to meet with the residential faculty and other staff members who live in the residential colleges. So for the on-campus students, that's something that students and family members can do right away, is go to these receptions and get to know the folks who are the live-in faculty and staff a little bit better. The family sessions start really the Wednesday evening, August 16th. Families are welcome to come to the Kane Stake Flight Pep Rally that I mentioned earlier, and that's really the biggest event for families that evening. And then the largest portion of the family program takes place on Thursday, August 17th. We'll have a welcome breakfast. Family members will have academic deans meetings that are separate from the students so that families can kind of get the supportive perspective of how to support their student throughout their academics in that particular school or college. There's breakout interest sessions where there's a variety of different topics that family members can choose from and kind of choose your own adventure on what you want to learn about. Anything from supporting your student in crisis, learning more about educational opportunities outside the classroom. There's a lot of different topics that you'll see on your schedule. And then it will close with the President's Closing Reception for families. And that's kind of a hors d'oeuvres and refreshments style reception hosted by the president of the university, where you'll get to talk to different administrators and faculty members and close out your experience with Family Kane Kickoff on that Thursday night.
All right. So there's a lot of students involved in this whole program. So we have a lot of names for things that might get confusing when students first come to campus. So I'm going to give you both some acronyms, if you don't mind, and just ask you to define what they are.
Sure.
I'll start with orientation.
Sure.
So what is a PC, what is an OL, and what is an OF?
Okay, so those reflect the different, I guess, tiers or leadership positions within our Kane Kickoff orientation staff structure. So a PC, or a program coordinator, are senior student leaders who really help the professional staff with planning and running the entire program. You're going to see them on stage making announcements. You'll see them running around behind the scenes, running the show. And they're students who have been involved in our orientation program for 3 years or so. So they really know the program and are great people to look to when getting your questions answered about what's kind of going on behind the scenes or anything going on with the bigger picture. An OL is an orientation leader, and there are about 16 of them. And the orientation leaders help us with general event management and, again, kind of behind-the-scenes support. So you may see them introducing speakers. You'll see them at check-in. They'll sort of be helping us make sure that the program is running smoothly, and they'll kind of be there to greet you as a friendly face at different points throughout the program. And then the orientation fellow, or an OF, is the student leader who you will become most familiar with throughout the Kane Kickoff program. So every small group, for residential students, your small group during Kane Kickoff is based on your floor or residential college. And then for commuter students and off-campus transfer students, you'll be broken up into groups based on just randomized groups designed for commuters and transfers. Every group will have 1 or 2 orientation fellows, and they are really experts on the orientation transition experience. They'll be leading you from event to event throughout Kane Kickoff, answering all of your questions, making sure you have the resources and materials that you need, and also just kind of providing any kind of guidance or answering general questions about the university that you may have. They'll also be facilitating small group discussions throughout to help you kind of process some of the materials that you'll be learning in the mandatory sessions.
Okay. So on the housing side, what is an RA and what is an FYF?
Sure, it's a good distinction to make. So an RA is a resident assistant, which is a student staff member within our Department of Housing and Residential Life. And they are on each floor and really serve as your point of contact for essentially all things at the University of Miami. They are 24/7 able to help you and help you in supportive ways, help you find resources on campus, and also will put together a variety of programs and activities throughout your entire experience within your residential area. So they really become the central point for your floor. An FYF, known as a first-year fellow, is for our first-year residential students, so all the folks here. And they are really there to help you as an academic resource, even things like career major exploration, as registration time comes up every semester when you have to register for classes. They're really there to help you be an academic resource for the university. And they, too, will also put on programs throughout the academic year to just sort of understand what it's like to be a student here at the university.
And if I could tag on to that, for any of the students who are eligible and have chosen to live off campus in their first year, you'll also be assigned to kind of a parallel peer leader to an RA called a Commuter Assistant. Every first year student who lives off campus will have a Commuter Assistant, and they serve as generally kind of the same purpose of answering all of your questions and being a go-to mentor throughout your entire first year, and you'll get to know them during Kane Kickoff. For upperclassmen transfer students who are living off campus, you'll also have a similar peer mentor called a Transfer Assistant, who will be there throughout your first semester, planning events and programs and providing that same level of mentorship.
Yeah. Okay, so now I have a question for both of you. What advice do you have for both students and families on how to best navigate the next couple weeks of their life, I guess?
Well, a couple of other pieces of advice that I would tag on to things that I've already said. One is to, again, check that to-do list for the road to UM. Make sure that you've signed up for Kane Kickoff. Make sure that you've turned in all of the forms that you need to turn in, and you've done any, like your online campus clarity, alcohol education courses, everything that you need to do ahead of time so that when you arrive, you can really focus on making the most of your move-in experience if you're living on campus, as well as the Kane Kickoff experience, and can reduce the amount of other stressors or last-minute to-dos that you'll need to take care of. So plan ahead and make sure that you're really consulting that guide and getting those to-do items done. Aside from that, when you arrive and participate in the Kane Kickoff orientation program, my general advice is just to dive in and participate in as much as possible. As I mentioned before, it's really customizable to your interests, but it's only as good as you make it be by investing the time and energy into going to sessions and participating in the small group discussions and choosing the interest sessions that stick out to you for what you want to get involved with on campus. Go to the involvement fair and sign up for a whole bunch of clubs of things that might interest you at some point during your college experience. Really dive in and sink your teeth into everything the University of Miami has to offer and make the most out of learning how to be successful in your first year.
And so I would definitely echo the fact that there are lots of things to do, and getting them done ahead of time will certainly, again, just take all of that, some of that stress will start to go away as you start to check things off of the road to UM. But I also would say just to relax. And there's a lot that will happen to you, a lot that you will be involved in as you come to college. And really, this is a summer to relax. Once you get your things done, you probably have 1,001 questions, if not more. I definitely love doing webinars where a lot of us are active on social media. My office in housing has been getting lots of phone calls all throughout the summer, of course, and we're very happy and very excited to meet all of our incoming students. Certainly an engaged group of students already, very interested in finding everything out. But sometimes just take it slow. A lot of things will come to you. Answers will be given. I know we're hungry for information. I remember when I was a student coming here to the University of Miami about 7 years ago now, I think. You want to know everything right away. And there's certainly answers to very important questions that we are happy to share. But a lot of things you'll just find out as you get here. Some things there'll be questions you didn't even know you needed the answers to that you will find out. So certainly just take it all in, read what you can, get as informed as you can, check off some of those things on the to-do list. But at the end of the day, enjoy these last few weeks of summer. You'll be here before you know it. I promise you that. We're already, can't believe it's already the end of July here at UM. We're very excited to meet you all. But certainly just enjoy your last few weeks of summer. The information will come to you. I promise you that. So again, just check those to-do lists. Make sure you're doing what you can do, and we are here for you. This is what we do. Again, it may be your first time moving in to university, but we've been doing this before, so we will be sure that you have all the information you need to make your move-in successful.
So as we wrap up, I'm just going to ask you guys to reintroduce yourselves and tell everyone either a phone number or an email address, whatever is the most efficient way for families to get in contact with your department. Do you want to start?
Sure. So again, my name is Matt Barnes. I'm the Assistant Director in the Department of Orientation and Commuter Student Involvement. We run the Kane Kickoff Orientation Program. If you would like to reach us, our phone number is 305-284-5646, and our email address is orientation@miami.edu.
And my name is Mike Piacentino. I handle all of our marketing and communications for the Department of Housing and Residential Life. Our central office phone number is 305-284-4505. Our main website is miami.edu/housing. Specific information can be found at /housing/fall move-in, all one word. And our email address is housing@miami.edu.
Great. So again, my name is Brianna Klein. I'm one of our Kane Kickoff Program coordinators. I personally am so excited to see you all in about 3 weeks. So please reach out to any of us if you have any questions before then. So thank you all for being a part of the webinar experience.
Thank you very much.